When you dare to share, you break the silence. When you dare to share, you speak your truth. When you dare to share, you use the full strength of your voice. When you dare to share, it brings opportunity to own your story. So tell it, be heard, and at the same time, your sharing is someone else's learning, inspiration, motivation, empowerment, and hope. There's always an element to each of our stories that remains a secret. For some, we feel it's a dirty little secret. Dare to share your untold story exposes these secrets in a welcoming and positive way. I encourage each of you out there to dare yourself to share what is yours to tell. When we dare, it is the courage to do something really important. Let this be a vow to each and every single one of us that we take risk, we brave, confront, and face what is, while inspiring and empowering all communities. So let's break that silence and tap into mental beauty. This is Salima Jadavji, your podcast host, a practicing social worker, and your mental wellness connoisseur. Welcome to the Dare to Share Your Untold Story podcast, episode number 125. When stage 4 cancer became my greatest gift. To all my fellow listeners, before we get started, I'm just dropping in a note to give you a heads up that this podcast might be emotionally triggering for you. We do invite guests onto the show who share openly about extremely difficult life moments with exposure and impact of what the struggles have been like. The intensity of each episode could have a variable impact on your emotional and mental well-being based on your own personal story. If at any point the topic becomes uncomfortable or upsetting to you in any way, please do not pressure yourself to listen. Instead, be kind to yourself, do some self-care, and perhaps give another episode a try. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our courageous and daring guest, Jennifer Greenhut. Jennifer is a stage 4 triple-negative breast cancer survivor, speaker, and author who discovered that love, gratitude, and trust were her greatest superpowers to heal. Her experience of becoming cancer-free just months after her diagnosis inspired her to create Pinch Me, a simple mindset practice that helps people stay present and remember that life is always working for them, even when it doesn't feel that way. She also co-authored Everyone Needs a Larry with her husband, sharing their journey of love, marriage, and resilience while navigating cancer together. As the founder of Love Zero Negative, Jennifer built an intentional lifestyle brand dedicated to spreading love and igniting self-worth through fashion and advocacy. Through the Zero Negative Foundation, she supports cancer patients directly with its Chemo Love Tote program and contributes to cancer research. Whether through her writing, speaking, or foundation, Jenn is on a mission to turn negatives into positives, empowering others to embrace self-love, gratitude, and the possibility of healing. Well, hello there, Jennifer. Welcome to the Dare to Share Your Untold Story podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm really looking forward to the conversation that we're about to get into. It's really great. And I always feel that having guests like yourself on the show, willing to tap into vulnerability, is huge. And I'm humbled to encounter guests just like you who allow me to draw on their strength and insights and the inspiration, all of those things that get shared into this space. I'm always honored to witness this. It's incredibly important that we take a stance together to help break barriers of mental stigma. So how does that sound, Jenn?
Well, I love that you have a platform to do that. Congrats on helping us share the story.
That's great. And so, Jennifer, in case you're still wondering, what this podcast is all about is bringing forward untold stories that people go through, whether directly about a mental health struggle or something else. And we know that no matter what the story, there is impact on one's own mental health in some way, which remains tucked away. So this platform, it serves in a way to break the barriers of mental stigma that have been conditioned in our society. So today, together, my hopeful mission is for both of us to be able to encourage people to share and tell what individuals typically have reservation to express. And of course, I continue bringing forward a trend, and it is called the mental beauty rethink. So, Jennifer, what immediately comes to your mind when you first hear this phrase, the mental beauty rethink?
I think for me, it's rethinking your mindset and the choices and being aware of your thoughts. Your thoughts can be toxic or your thoughts can be beautiful and supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Mental beauty is kind of beauty from the inside out, including your mind.
I love that. Like, not just beauty from the inside out, but like to even include your thoughts. I love that.
Our thoughts are so powerful.
They are.
And we have a choice in how we want to believe our thoughts, because sometimes it could be an automatic critique or a judgment.
Mm-hmm.
We see it, no, I don't want to think that way. I want to choose something different. And so we can work with our thoughts and change them.
Right. Especially like when you're having a thought, the first thing I always think to myself is, how do I know that for a fact? What do I know about this to actually be true? As opposed to just it possibly be something I'm telling myself and not exactly sure where it came from. Right. So if we're checking out the validity of our thoughts, that's the only time we really should be believing them. Right. But I like how you say we have a choice.
My whole story about stage 4 cancer, I sort of saw it as a gift and not a curse. And I looked at it like, this is happening for me to teach me something. And that was one of the best choices that I've ever made in my life.
Right. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I'm ready to take the deep dive and uncover your story today. How do you feel? Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
I love that. She's always ready. All right, then here we go. For our first question, Jennifer, give us the newspaper headline of how you would title your untold story. How would it read?
Stage 4 triple negative breast cancer to a zero negative life.
Say it one more time for me, please.
Stage 4 triple negative breast cancer to a zero negative life.
Stage 4 triple negative breast cancer to a zero negative life. Okay, I know this title is already starting to give away some of your story. In some way, can you just touch on what this headline really means to you? What's the significance or symbolism behind this?
My biggest challenge was stage 4 cancer. And at first, I thought it was a death sentence and I was being punished by life or the universe. And I had so much self-hatred at that time. And I felt like I failed in everything and I was being killed off.
Mm-hmm.
Once that switch happened, when I had learned information from my doctor, and then I changed my outlook on stage 4 cancer as it was a gift and not a curse. And it became a class in narratives and stories. And now my life is zero negative. So it's only positive because every challenge that I face now, I see it as a blessing and something for me, something that can teach me something. And I'm just so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful to have all of life because I almost died and I wouldn't have had anything. A death sentence. It was also the name of my type of cancer. And now zero to me means cancer free, and also life is a gift and everything in life is also a gift.
I love it. What a enriching title that says so much about your identity, who you are, and what you've embraced. So intriguing. So tell me, let's get right into your story. Give us that snapshot. What is your untold story all about? Who, what, when, where, big themes. Go for it.
Briefly, I'll just say, I grew up in New York City and I was a competitive gymnast. I left home at 14 to train for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the gym 5 hours a day. I was doing great. I was on the United States national team. I traveled all over the world. Gymnastics is really hard. Everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
I never felt worthy of just being me. I wasn't, we're not allowed to cry. We have to weigh a certain weight. And I knew I was only as good as my scores. So it started really wearing on me. I was feeling burnt out, but I'm not a quitter. So I'm going to keep going and keep training. One day in the gym, I'm working on a new vault and I blow out my knee. My knee totally dislocates. I'm back at home having major knee surgery and I'm recovering on a couch, and my mom is bringing me this like bagel, New York bagel with cream cheese and butter. And I'm smiling. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And how old were you at this time when you had the knee injury?
I left home at 14. I would have been training for the 88 Olympics, and I was 16 when my knee dislocated.
Oh my goodness. So you're on the couch at age 16 and this wonderful bagel is in front of you.
Well, it just made me think, wow, my knee actually did this for us because I was not going to quit. My knee made the hardest decision for me. From that moment on, I saw that my body had my back.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, a few decades when I know that I so want to have a family, but I don't want to have it with the wrong person. So I waited to find the right person. I met Larry, my husband. We get married. I'm so excited. I'm going to have a family. I'm going to be a mom because in my mind, that's my purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
So we jump right into IVF, and after 3 rounds, I fail every round. And I'm at my rock bottom because I'm like feeling life is punishing me. Why can't I have my dreams like everybody else does? What's wrong with me? I'm a failure. Everything I worked on in life, I'm just never good enough. I'm just not good enough for anything. And I'm really depressed. And then we get a dog, and I'm starting to kind of like find my way back into, because I love my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Months later, over the holidays, I'm diagnosed with this horrible stage 4 cancer, which came out of the blue. All my doctor appointments, my mammograms, everything was up to date. So it was like, what? I feel fine, and now I'm going to die.
Right.
And it just made total sense because I thought, oh, I didn't fulfill my purpose. Life hates me. I hate me. Of course, I'm being killed off because I'm not worthy of being here anymore. Really scared because I'm dying. This is because I failed. But I was just praying to God, if there was a God, please let me live. Please show me to the right doctor. Please, if I get my life back, I knew I would totally be grateful for that. But I was like, God, I'm going to give back. I'll do whatever I need to do. Just please.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my deal with the universe.
Yeah. You made a deal with God and the universe.
I mean, I was desperate. I'm like, I don't want to die, please. So I had 3 doctor appointments. The first 2 were completely, I just felt more stressed. Like they were like, you're going to die. Let's just treat you and keep you alive as long as possible, kind of thing. The third doctor, I remember shaking his hand, and I just remember like this feeling of safety coming over me. I noted that, it was a full on examination from head to toe. He told me his treatment plan was going to be 6 rounds of chemo, double mastectomy, 6 weeks of radiation, more surgeries, and we were going to end with removing my ovaries. And he basically said, Jennifer, I'm so sorry you're never going to have a baby, but I want you to know if you had gotten pregnant, your pregnancy would have killed you. In that moment, everything changed. My chills came all over my body. I was transforming in an instant because I saw that life wasn't punishing me ever. Life was saving me. Everything still is working out. So, seeing stage 4 cancer as a gift, believing it's working out for me. And I surrendered and I said, first of all, I might die. And if I'm going to die, it's going to be in 2 years or so. So I'm going to take my life and feel so grateful just to be here while I can. And I found I could have gratitude for so much. Like I never saw what I had in my life. I always was looking at what I didn't have. And all of a sudden, I started seeing everything I had, like an amazing family, friends, husband who loved me, my dog. Just life was beautiful. Even when I was going through treatment, I was so grateful to have met this team of doctors, to have been able to receive chemotherapy, to be able to have like these people holding me up while I went through treatment. And then I had that trust that everything was going to work out perfectly. 4 months later, I'm cancer free, which was like, oh, maybe I've figured out something. These superpowers, love, gratitude, and trust, are within all of us. And then we have a choice of how do we want to face every challenge, with fear and resistance and why me, or with love and gratitude and what's in this for me. And that's sort of what was the inspiration behind everything else that I've done.
Wow, that is so incredible. You mentioned that when you started to recognize the gift, how far in were you into the diagnosis?
This was right after I met my third doctor, when I hadn't even started treatment. Having gotten pregnant, everything that I had wanted that would have killed me, that was the moment that I saw everything as a gift.
Right. And so this is before treatment even began. And when treatment began, did they give you an idea of how long your treatments would take, or did they provide you any details of what would happen?
It was maybe 19 months or what. It was constant, but there was like resting in between.
Mm-hmm.
But I was cancer free in 4 months, even though I had to continue my treatment and finish. That was not part of the plan that I would be like cancer free. I even asked,
Right. The cancer-free part was the surprise, right?
oh, yeah.
So I'm curious, when you learned 4 months in that you were cancer free, did you have any idea that perhaps you were healing and that things were changing in your body? Did you have any feeling like that?
Because after a couple rounds of chemo, and I had six, I was so present with my thoughts and my feelings about myself. And I actually went in to my body where I just held space for this amazing, beautiful, imperfect machine that I had.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered my knee that had made this choice for us to get us out of gymnastics. And then I just thought, like, my body saved my life by not getting pregnant. My body has been through so much. We have been through so much. We're all just doing our best. And I had so much appreciation and compassion and love for my body,
Mm-hmm.
also to my cancer cells. I had a crazy moment where I felt something being like
Mm.
dissolving this density. After 3 rounds of chemo, my doctor couldn't find like any of the tumors. We were both like, whoa, what's going on? Where is everything?
Right. Were they thinking like the test needs to be done again? Like, where'd they go? Like, is there an error in the machine?
I mean, his checkups were always like physical feeling.
Okay. And he was just like, where are they?
I mean, it was that kind of awareness that was like, okay, cancer wasn't coming to kill me. My body wasn't coming to kill me. Everything was coming to show me that the answer could possibly be love always. Love is the answer.
Right. During this process of the treatments and all of that, did you feel pain at all? Like physical pain or discomfort?
I mean, chemotherapy is not a fun thing to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And every surgery brings a lot of pain when you're healing.
Right. What did it feel like?
Well, I mean, you feel nauseous a lot. You have mouth sores, you're fatigued, your bones hurt, your taste buds change. You get through because you believe, or I believe, that this was part of helping me live. I looked for all the perks about it, like people sent me free things,
Okay.
and I got my husband to do everything, and I could nap whenever I wanted, and you lean into it.
Okay. I like it. Now, as positive as you were, because I mean, you had this strong mindset, things shifted for you. There clearly were challenges present. What are some of the obstacles that you faced during this time?
Well, like your body is completely run down. And I was an athlete and I was always on the move. So it was like slow down and just kind of listening to your body more.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the challenge of feeling sick a lot, tired. I had to shut down a little bit.
And you mentioned like there were perks, right? There was definitely things that you looked forward to, like those free things or being able to take naps and has been doing the chores around the home and leaning into things. Did you feel like you had a solid support system outside of that?
I did. My family was around. My mom used to be a nurse, so she would be constantly checking up on us.
Oh, great.
And my family came to like all my doctor appointments. I had a really good support system. It was also one of the things that I just was like so grateful for. You start to see like so much of what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt super lucky. And my friends, would always be showing up. Whether you have a husband or not, it doesn't really matter. It's just whoever your caregiver team is, it's friends or family, or it doesn't matter. So just one person just to look after you is enough.
Right. And you had so much gratitude in that. Jennifer, I'm curious about something. So before the gratitude kicked in, right? Before the mindset shifted, before you got to that point of recognize maybe the universe is working in my favor. Up to that point, can you talk a little bit about what was going on in your mind in terms of like all the different thoughts? You talked a little bit about fear and resistance. What was that experience like for you before the shift?
Well, I think I said like I felt like I was supposed to die because I failed at my purpose. So there was a lot of self-hatred.
Can you describe a little bit more about the self-hatred?
All through since gymnastics, everything needed to be perfect and proven, and you're not worthy unless you're, accomplishing something, and just feeling like not enough because I wasn't being able to fulfill my purpose in life, which was in my mind to be a mom. So I just always felt, less than everybody else and not good enough. A lot of shame and depression. I mean, I had a history of depression.
Okay. What I wanted to ask was, how did you start noticing that all those pieces of shame and the perfectionism and the not good enough and being less than, that self-worth piece and trusting yourself? What did you notice about yourself as these things started to lift?
Like a totally different person by feeling not punished by yourself, or like happy to be you. It's a gentle internal thing, but it's just like, wow, I love myself, as opposed to I hate myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so happy to be alive. I mean, when you're facing death and you really think you're going to die and then you don't, it's so automatic, like such a relief and a joy. And wow, I get to live. I get to appreciate these bad days, these horrible days, because every day is a gift. Even if it's the worst day of your life, it's still a gift.
Yeah. What did the relief feel like? Where did you notice the relief?
A cloud that's lifted, I guess.
Ah, a cloud that's lifted. That's amazing. So, in terms of all these things you contended with, all the different pieces, and your story is not just about conquering cancer and becoming cancer free. There's all these other elements, as you say, about how you were treating yourself, how you believed in yourself or didn't believe in yourself, and all these things that you started to become more aware of after this diagnosis and as the treatment began. What were some other things that you noticed about yourself that were shifting?
Just like not having to rush or do all the time, just slowing down and paying attention to not what I have to do, but what do I want to do? I can choose to do what I want to do. I mean, obviously, work is work, but I'm choosing to work because this is what I would like to do. So it was a lot of the shoulds kind of left, and the more conscious choices.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It sounds like they're very much conscious choices and recognizing I have a lot of choice. Even when I think I have to do something, I'm actually choosing to do this. I don't have to work. I'm choosing to work because by choosing to work, I'm choosing certain things. It's a nice part of the journey, like to kind of experience the shift.
And like, I can be really sad or really upset, still okay. Like, I'm choosing to feel everything. And I'm also choosing to know that this feeling doesn't take over my entire life. This is a feeling that I'm going to allow it in and let it pass and experience it because I can, because I'm alive and I'm able to feel everything. And it's like less of that judgment of like fear, like I don't want to experience pain. No, pain is real.
Yeah, pain is real.
And I'm so joyful now to be able to experience sadness because I never let myself before.
Right. That's interesting. Because oftentimes the default thing is, oh, I don't want to feel that.
Yeah.
But as humans, we're actually meant to feel all of it. The stuff that we desire and the stuff that we don't. That's what makes us human, is being able to feel fully, wholly, completely. And it sounds like you got yourself to a place to be able to do that, where you were just embracing it and honoring what was coming up as it was without any judgment.
Yeah. No, it's a muscle. I mean, I told you with gymnastics, I wasn't allowed to cry. So I had shut down that because crying to me symbolized shame or not strong enough. Now, when I cry, I mean, I cry so easily now and I love it.
That's wonderful that you had those shifts and that you got to experience that and it's shaping into who you are now. That's really neat.
Yeah, I think we're all on a journey to keep growing and learning and not to get stuck in like what's wrong with me, like what your scars are turn into your true superpowers if you kind of lean into them and look at it in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. Jennifer, When people come to see me for therapy, individuals, they're typically in one of three places. Most people, they're either getting started where they're just like, hey, I'm in it for the long haul. I want to start therapy. I just want to get a better sense of myself. I want to understand who I am. I want to learn about myself, learn some skills, become a better version of me. Some people are in an acute stressor. They're in the thick of things. They know that, okay, I need to work on this and then see what's the ripple effect on the rest of my life and what's the rest of my life been influencing what I'm experiencing now. And some people are looking back. They want to come to therapy saying, okay, I want to talk about my life and have closure on some things I didn't have control over and be able to move forward with a clearer path. What part of the journey would you say that you're on or that you're in based on the untold story that you've shared so far? Would you say that you are getting started, in the middle, or looking back?
I'm looking back just because now I'm 8 years out of it, but my journey is my entire life.
Yeah, congratulations. 8 years cancer free. I'm giving you a virtual high five over here. That's awesome. So, in terms of this journey, what you're saying is you're looking back, right?
But I'm not really looking back. It's now part of me moving forward.
Okay, now part of you. Do you feel confident in the place you're in now?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So, Jennifer, you mentioned what you had experienced. You mentioned a lot of different things, as well as, hey, I actually was going through depression as well. Like, that was huge for me. I'm curious about how your untold story has affected your mental health. You've introduced this part of what you experienced in terms of with depression. Can you speak a little bit more about it? Like how the depression showed up in your life? What did depression look like for you? How you experienced it?
I think it's just a dullness that you kind of are just going about your day, but nothing's really, you're not feeling joy, you're not feeling love, you're not feeling excitement. And it's kind of a feeling that you don't want to share because you don't want to like bring anybody else into your world of being down. And it's just something that kind of like a black cloud, I guess, takes over. Like so many people, I think that live with depression, they hide it pretty well.
And do you feel like you were hiding yours?
Well, yeah, because I had a normal life. I mean, I got out of bed, I worked, I did everything.
So it was very functional for you, but you still experienced all of the depression internally.
Well, yeah, because I thought I don't know how to be happy if I can't have my fulfilled purpose of having a family and being a mom. Like everything I looked at was I didn't have what I wanted, and that's a hard place to be.
Mm-hmm. Now, whether we talk about the cancer itself or that perfectionism mindset, what toll did you notice that it took on your mind or your emotional state? Like, what are some things that you were contending with?
Well, cancer was like the healer. I'm diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and my first reaction is, wow, I can't believe I didn't appreciate the life that I had. And I can't believe I saw everything I didn't like as opposed to seeing how amazing life was. Then I was going to die. And so I'm obviously very depressed about that because I never appreciated my life. And then all of a sudden I figure out I'm not going to die. And so, I mean, depression, it was just a natural reaction to life and being alive.
Before you could see the cancer as a healer, what was that fear of death like?
Horrible. Well, it wasn't even death. It was the fact that I wasted my life not being aware that life was so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like such a disappointment in myself. Like I had this beautiful gift that I never took advantage of, and it's too late now, and I can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any other self-deprecating thoughts or anything else that you encountered on your journey?
I was just in it once the cancer hit. You're in survival mode, and you're also aware that things are working, so you're super excited and happy, and it's like you're reborn. I was so excited. I started a company. I started a foundation. I wrote a book with my husband. I was so excited to share everything that I was learning.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And so, Jennifer, what would you say is your key message to the listeners of the show? What do you want them to know?
That life is always working out, even if it feels like it's not. And sometimes we just don't know why things happen. I kind of feel like I was given a gift of knowing why I didn't get pregnant because it would have killed me. But sometimes things happen that we see are really bad. But if we kind of believe that life is always working out for us, it's so powerful because we then have a choice in how we want to embrace the challenges. These are going to be gifts that can help us grow, help us learn, help us evolve to be our best selves. And I think everything in life is bringing us back to who we truly are, which is love and light.
I love that. That's wonderful. And so, what about your game changing inspiration? Like, I know that you've talked a lot about how cancer became the healer and how when you saw that doctor number 3, that's when your mindset had the pivot. But something I always get curious about is what was that game changing piece of inspiration that's close to you that reflects your untold story? Even if it's like a book or a quote or a mantra, a person, an event, a place, anything that you haven't shared or anything that you can say to that?
I have a practice that I do, and I call it Pinch Me. And I do a lot of coaching for cancer patients through my foundation and what I share through my company. But when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, I was pinching myself because I wanted to wake myself up from a horrible dream. I was like, this isn't real. This is a nightmare. Get me out of here. And I kept pinching. Obviously, it was a dream, so the pinching wasn't working, but that was my instinct to pinch myself. So then now I've become aware that life is always working out. And when I feel anxiety or overwhelm or just in my head, now I pinch myself to get me back to my knowing this life is a gift and I can choose to understand and remember and remind myself that life is always working out. So it's like a pinch me to get back into the present moment.
Yeah, it's like a grounding piece, right? Like a little grounding technique.
And I teach it now to so many people because like it's a habit. I catch yourself going down a dark hole, you pinch and like get out of that, come back to the moment
Yeah,
where everything's okay.
yeah. Pinch to get back. Yeah, I like it. All right. Now, what is a cause or an organization that's been impactful to you on your journey that you want to give a shout out to? Who might they be?
The company I started is called Love Zero Negative, and we spread love and joy through accessories that say love, and they give back to a foundation that I founded called the Zero Negative Foundation, where we support cancer patients by putting together tote bags that are filled with essential items to get them through treatment, and we send with intentions and prayers and just support. Like, we are here on your team rooting you on. We can't do this for you, but we've been there. We know what you're going through. You can do it too.
That is remarkable.
And we also give back to cancer research at UCLA's because that's where my team of doctors were. And I always want to give back and show my gratitude.
Yeah, it's brilliant. How did you get the inspiration to start the foundation?
Because when I was a patient, I remember just receiving a lot of gifts, whether it was a card or a blanket or something, and it meant so much to me, just that I was being thought of.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do the same thing. And because the company that I have, Love Zero Negative, we have tote bags that say love, and they work amazing for chemo bags.
Ah.
So it's kind of like my way of supporting cancer patients because I felt supported by getting something out from just having to go through cancer. So it's my way of giving back and supporting them and sharing happy ending stories, because sometimes all you need is to hear, oh, if they did it, then maybe I can do it too.
Sure. I'm really mesmerized by the reciprocity, the cycle of reciprocity. Like, this is what I got and it helped me. And now I want to be able to give back to others. And there might be people who might not be able to have had the opportunity or have opportunities to get what I got. So I want to open up that possibility for other people. It's such a beautiful way.
Yeah, it feels really good too.
And it's so personable too, right? Because this was your exact journey, right?
Yeah, if it worked for me, it has to work for somebody else.
Exactly. I love it. It's incredible. I keep saying it, but I just don't have another word. So, how can people connect with you if they would like to? Where are you findable?
Instagram is Love Zero Negative. The foundation is Zero Negative org. My website is lovezeronegative.com and zeronegativefoundation.org. The book that I wrote with my husband, Larry, is called Everyone Needs a Larry, and it's on Amazon. And I'm really proud of this book too, because it's his perspective as a caregiver and it's my perspective as the patient. And it's also our fumbling through love, marriage, and stage 4 cancer. And we share everything, the mess. And we just hope to, share tips, advice, mistakes, lessons, anything that will be helpful for other couples going through some kind of crazy cancer journey.
Mm-hmm. Cancer journeys can sometimes be very wild. We've grabbed all of that information that you've shared just now, and it's going to be available on your show notes page. So people can just click on that and they'll be able to connect with you if they're inclined to learn more or ask you for something. All your information is there.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness. Jennifer, guess what?
Yes.
You've just dared yourself to share. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, this was so much fun.
Yeah, tell me more about the fun. What part was so fun?
Sharing.
Yeah, and I loved hearing it. It's fantastic.
I'm sure you have a big story to share as well.
I do. I have a few. I've actually shared on the podcast a couple times, so I'll let you know what those episodes are if you wanted to have a listen. But on a serious note, Jennifer, I would just like to take a moment to express my gratitude for the deep story that you shared in this space today, speaking openly about your journey through such an aggressive cancer combat, uncovering your superpowers through self-love and repositioning your life and priorities and all that you've done to overcome the obstacles and how you're giving back to people and the communities that you are a part of. I'm just in awe. And I'm truly grateful to have been able to hear and witness your story today. So thank you for the deep conversation and for all the daring and sharing. Once again, Jennifer, thank you for being part of Dare to Share Your Untold Story and helping to be a voice in breaking down the barriers of mental stigma. To all of our listeners, if you like what you've been hearing on this podcast and you want to be part of breaking down barriers of mental stigma, I invite you to go wherever you are listening to the episode and hit subscribe. Leave us a comment or a review of the episode and maybe how you relate to it. To learn more about what we offer, visit www.daretoheal.co. And if you are feeling ready and brave to share, please submit your story by visiting www.daretoshare.co. Thanks for joining in.